Hello and welcome to this optics trade review, this time about the Pulsar Axion Key XM22. This is the smallest and the most affordable thermal camera Pulsar produces now in 2020. It was, however, already shown to the public in 2019. We are a little bit late with this review. As you probably know, the whole family of Axions was first introduced at SHOT Show in 2019, so in January, almost 1 year ago. And at the moment of introduction, at the beginning, there were only 3 models. So the Axion Key XM30, the bigger brother of this model, then the normal Axion XM30 and the Axion XM38. I think you got confused a little bit now because the only difference is the key in the whole name. Pulsar wanted to to show people that with this key acronym, so with the key, they are talking about only key features that this model have. So this is a more basic model with less functionalities and lower price. So at the beginning there were 3 models, then they introduced the 4th model, this XM22, which we have here now. And it was quite a rough ride because already in the middle of the year they discontinued the normal Axion models, the Axion XM30 and XM38. The main reason was the lack of sensors, since the market demand is much higher than the production capacities of the sensor producers. It was really a big success. The Axion Key models are still a big success, and I have to say that I don't wonder why, because these devices are really, when you look from the price point, they are outstanding what you get for your money. They're a successor of a very popular model named Quantum. Quantum has been discontinued for almost 2 years now, and the Axion Key is even smaller, better, and what's the most important for some people, cheaper. So this model which we have now here, the XM22, Axion Key XM22, it costs less than 1,000 euros. So this is something what was unimaginable only 2 or 3 years ago. I know 2 years ago, in 2018, thermal cameras for, let's say, 2,000 euros and 1,500 euros were already very affordable for this category of products. Now you can buy a product made with a housing out of magnesium, fully waterproofed, with really a lot of functions, with great optical performance for less than 1,000 euros. So this category of products really advanced a lot. So like all Axions, this key is also completely waterproof. So it features the IPX7 waterproof standard. That means when you put the battery in, you can even submerge the whole device into the water and it will still work. This is something what most of the competitors do not offer. Not to mention that when you look at the magnesium housing, it's really robust and the build quality is really high. The batteries which power the Axions are APS-3, the same batteries like you can find in thermions and many other devices also. So I think that this is also one of the key features of the Pulsar, that they figured out that the batteries are really important when we talk about thermal optics, because everybody uses thermal optics a lot. We know that the power consumption is high on all thermal optical devices. So the system of rechargeable batteries, which can be replaced in a device really fast. We are talking about seconds. So when you see that the battery is empty, you just push the button here, it pops out, and you can put a new battery in and you can use the device for the next 4 or 5 hours. This is a big difference compared to other devices which you need to plug into the wall socket or to a power bank or something similar. So I would say this is one of the biggest advantages of Pulsar, that all of their devices have a standard rechargeable batteries which can be replaced immediately. So this device can function, like we said, in a really moist conditions, in the rain and so on, but it also works in a wide temperature range. It works all the way from -10 to +40. -10 because of the display. If the display would be of AMOLED type or any other type, it would work even lower. So the normal Axions, the Axion XM38 for instance, it works even under -25. But the Axion Key models, which have the LCOS displays, they work only until -10, which I still think is more than enough for majority of hunters. The weight is only 230 grams, and it is one of the smallest thermal cameras on the market. I think that only FLIR Bridge is smaller. Everything else is more or less bigger. It's very light, 230 grams. The startup time is only 1 second, so I would say it's almost an instant startup time, which is again a very positive feature, since with many other devices, also with Pulsar Helions for instance, or Pulsar Core, you have to wait up to 3-4 seconds, and you're never sure if the device is turned on or not. And this is something what the Axion is also great. It has a small LED indicator which shows you when the device is powered on, even though it has almost an instant ability to function immediately when you power it on. So startup time is really only 1 second. Like all Pulsar devices, they also have a sleep mode. So if you put the power button for a short period of time, if you don't press it for 3 seconds, it will enter sleep mode. If you press it for really short, like click, 1 click, it will recalibrate the sensor. If you press it for, let's say, 1 second, it will go into sleep mode. As you can see, it comes with a normal cable and a socket for charging. So the battery is charged inside of the device. It doesn't come with an external battery charger like the Axion XM38 or similar. It also comes with a manual in a couple of different languages and with a 3 years warranty. It's made in Lithuania, even though the Pulsar itself is a Belarusian company. But they have a huge facility in Lithuania with really, I think, more than 200 employees. So it's produced in European Union. What is also very important, that the service is in Lithuania. So if anything would happen in this 3 years of warranty, or after the warranty expires, they will still service it in this facility in Lithuania. And I think this is a really positive feature, since if you buy something, let's say a Chinese thermal camera, you will have problems servicing it after, let's say, 4 years or something like that, especially because, at least to my knowledge, very few Chinese manufacturers have a service department in European Union. So, like we said, the cable, the charger, the battery, the device itself, the warranty and the manual, and the carrying case. This is what comes in the box. I would just give a couple of remarks. I would say it's really nicely made, and don't forget the housing is out of magnesium. So it's also a nice feature. It has a magnet in the hand strap which holds the lens cover. Really nice feature. If you go to the sensor is 320 by 240 pixels, so a little bit smaller than it was in the Helions and Quantums, but it has a 12 microns size of the pixel. That means that you really can see all the details, because this is really a small pixel size. It's also smaller than on all the competition at the moment. Everybody is still on 17 micron pixel size, so this is an advantage when you see the size of the device, so it can be more compact, and you can also see a little bit more of details, even though compared to really good 17 microns sensors, let's say in the Helions, the difference is not big, but still the size and the weight it's a really small device. It's normally uncooled microbolometer sensor, and what's really interesting is that it's not an VOX sensor, but it's amorphous silicon sensor, so the ASI. This is something what is very unique. And there are many debates what is better or not and why Pulsar decided for this sensor, but when you see the optical performance, I would say that all these questions are really not that important. The sensor really works well. That's what's important. Refresh rate is 50 Hertz. So 50 Hertz means that you normally see a really nice flowing image. You can see all the moving animals and so on without a problem. Even though I remember in the past, I would say 5 years ago, 6 years ago, it was quite common that you have seen the devices with 9 Hertz or 30 Hertz of refresh rate. Now everybody is more or less on 50 Hertz, and it's also expected from the people. So the sensor is completely new generation behind this 22mm lens, and I would say, especially if we look that this sensor was enabling the design team to make a device so compact and so light, it's definitely the move into the right direction. Because the pixel size is smaller, also the sensor size in total is smaller than those sensors which have 17 micron pixel size. So the display on the other side is LCOS. It works all the way down to -10 degrees Celsius, and the resolution is 960 by 720. It is a little bit smaller when you look into it compared to the Helion, even though it has a higher resolution, but that means that you are able to see more details. If we look at the optical performance, the magnification range, or the standard magnification, is 2 times. So then afterwards you're able to digitally use the zoom, which is 4 times zoom. So it means that the magnification range goes from 2 to 8. 8 is quite high. For 8-time magnification to be fully utilized, you would almost need a tripod, even though some people use it also at 8 times magnification from hand. But like with all digital zooms, I would say that 2 times is superb, 4 times is still acceptable, 8 times magnification is already on the brink of unacceptable in terms of optical quality. The lens diameter is 22 millimeters, and this is the biggest difference compared to the 30 millimeter, I would say 30 millimeter device, the XM30 Axion Key. What is different is that there is no manual zoom, so the zoom is fixed, and with such a small lens, this is something what you're able to do, and it's not a big problem. Normally, with the XM30 model, you will be able to see better, but it's more expensive, and then you also have the focus, which is not fixed like in this device. So the aperture is 1.2, and the field of view is 17.5 meters per 100 meters. I would say an average field of view for the 2 times magnification. It's not the best, and it's definitely not the worst. I would say somewhere in the average. Range of detection is 950 meters. This data is really good. 950 meters is more than majority of people expects in a device for 1,000 euros. And the close focus is 3 meters. You also have 7 different color palettes inside, 7 different modes, and the menu, which is similar like all menus in Pulsar devices. So you have one menu button, then the up and down button. With a short press, you can gain access to adjusting brightness and contrast. What is also great compared to the Helion, you can use this device either with left hand or with right hand. It even features the possibility to change the strap on which side it is, so it's completely identical on both sides, and this is something what is a big difference to other devices from Pulsar. So they were thinking about left-handers, how they use the devices, because all Helions and other devices were primarily made for those who are using the right hand more often, like myself. Longer press on the menu button gives you all the advanced options like the mode, which is environment or identification or forest or city. I think it has a couple of different options. Then it also gives you the ability to choose what kind of calibration you'll have, semi-automatic, automatic or manual, and all other additional menu options. I would say that in majority cases only the brightness and the contrast are really important. Everything else is not. What is true, because this is the key model, that means it only has key features. It has no Wi-Fi connectivity. There is no ability to connect it to the app on your smartphone, and there is no ability to use Stream Vision application, which is probably one of the best applications for hunters or others on the market. Check our video for Stream Vision application review. It's a really, really great app. But with this device, normally, because it doesn't have any Wi-Fi connectivity, it's impossible to use it. You are able to connect your device to your computer via cable, and then what you're able to do is to update the software. And this is something what's quite important, because we have seen in the last year, in the 2019, Pulsar came out with, I think, 2 software updates for their thermal cameras, and the differences were really, really huge. So the difference between the updated and non-updated devices in terms of optical performance was really noticeable. So this is it's a great thing to know that you're able to connect this device to a computer, and in the future, when the new software updates will come out, you will be able to get all the best results. So if I make a short summary, first of all, keep in mind that this device has a price of less than 1,000 euros. And we all know that in this sub 1,000 euros or around 1,000 euros, there is not really that much competition. You have the Leopold, you have the Night Pearl, you have the Limke, and so on. But still, majority of them are not really that usable. To be honest, let's say Sick Vision or something similar for 600, 700 euros, or FLIR Scout TK. It is a thermal camera, but with a really limited usability. This Axion Key is on the other side of the spectrum. It is true that when you compare it with other Pulsar devices, with other thermal cameras, the optical performance is normally a little bit, I would say, less satisfying. But this is normal, because if you look at Helion, it costs 2,500 euros or something like that. So this device is 2 times cheaper. But still, you're able to get 950 meters of detection range. And this in a device for 1,000 euros or less, it's really good result. On top of this, I would say acceptable optical performance, since we are talking about a really entry-level, affordable thermal camera. You get first class of build quality. You get magnesium housing, you get IPX7 waterproofness, you get really, really well-made device, and easy to use with a changeable battery. And this is something that you're not able to get with any other device on the market for this price. Not even close. Nothing is so well built for 1,000 euros than the Pulsar Axion Key, and no other device for this price, at least to my knowledge, has a changeable, rechargeable battery. And I would say this is probably one of the main selling points of this device. This is something what, at least to my mind, should be a deal breaker, because a battery like this costs around 50 euros. So with 2 batteries like this, you're able to operate this device for as long as you wish. What are the minuses? The minuses are that there is no video or photo, no Wi-Fi connectivity, and I would say a big minus, if you're using glasses, this eyepiece is not the best. If you're using glasses, it is usable. You are able to do it like this, and then you're able to use it with glasses, but still the display size inside and similar is not as good as on the Helions. Normally the Helion costs at least 2 times as much as Axion Key XM22. What is also true that there is not a lot of other devices in this price range that solve the problem of eyeglasses wearers any better. So more or less for this price class you are on the same level with all of them. So still very affordable device, great build quality, or I would say even outstanding build quality for this price class. Changeable battery, fully waterproof, well made, and still 950 meters of range of detection. I would say it's almost hard to imagine that in 2020 you're able to buy such a good device for less than 1,000 euros. 3 years ago this was unimaginable. So there is no real objection against this device. But if you're wearing glasses, think about the Helion. The Helion is a little bit easier to use in that case. Thank you for watching. Please check other videos. We have many similar videos on our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, send us an email or visit our webpage. Thank you.